So it's good morning from me, guys. I think I woke up about, I don't know, half an hour ago. It's Saturday here, so please, sorry if I'm a bit hazy, but yeah, I thought I'd get this out of the way now because I do have a bit of a busy day and tomorrow as well. So, um, just quickly, I took a sell on CAD earlier in the week. Oh, sorry, I think it finished yesterday. It completed yesterday, but just a quick rundown. I'm always working off a high time frame. The daily was always looking for a sell. We could see uh, quite a steep sell-off on the daily. We can see a series of lows being taken out. Just a little thing on what I like to see is where we have these strong pushes that continues to break the lows. It tells me that there's vicious selling in these areas here, here, and so knowing that there was a sell-off here, it would come back, and we should still see some selling at this area. This for me here is just a liquidity sweep all the way back into wherever it is to make a move down. Now, something that I'm always aware of is where we sell to, we always need to keep in mind that where there's sellers, there's buyers. So we should know that there's buying there because it is, it is supply and demand. I just don't worry about trying to refine it into order blocks or everything. I just look at it that there to this point is supply, this point to this point is supply, that point up is demand, that point up is demand. So this point up is demand, demand buying, supply selling. That's just how I look at it. So when I see this strong sell-off and I see this pullback, this is telling me that okay, demand is kicked in, but also it's collecting from what was thrown here. So you got to remember that as this sell-off happens, you get a breakout trader buying in, you get someone who might have jumped in at this point here to sell because of FOMO and all this sort of stuff, and then on the way back you might get the people who have lost out a trade coming down to then buy and make up their losses. So this part here is probably your revenge trading. So in saying that, what we always need to be aware of is where I mentioned there was demand, and then I said there was also selling. We know that there's buying pressure in here and there's selling pressure here, and the minute, and this is why things like this happen and you have a breakout trader, because when supply has broken that demand, you tend to get that rush of selling because there was nothing here, there were no buyers here until we got to this point here and we bought back. Okay, so we always got to be aware that if we're going to sell from here, we can really only sell up until this point. Then we need to be aware that there will be buying that will be coming back in to push price back up. But in saying that, we could then keep selling, because keep in mind we are a lower lows all the way down. That is giving me a lower high, and really if we break that there, then we'd be considering anything in the buying, but that would be my point there. So this, excuse me, so yeah, so that was my train of thought, and that was on the daily. So if I then drop to the 4-hour, we can see that just quickly from that daily, I'm actually going to now show you there. So we can see now we had strong selling at that level that was highlighted. I'm just highlighting the lows and some lower highs coming through here, and dropping to the 4-hour. That was the daily level that showed strong selling that broke that low. It broke the low, and this is basically the pullback, which, look, there's no reason why, and I reckon I probably would have traded the pullback as well, but this is your pullback trade. This is your pullback, which is basically taking back the liquidity that was sent from here to continue a further move down. But we don't know if that's going to keep going down. What we do know is that we had selling and we had buying in this region, and that's why, once again, when that price went above this point, we had buying, and we had a rush of buying from this point up. Okay, now from that selling point there on the daily, there's the selling level, and then we had two days rejecting that level of selling. Okay, so there's 2 days of rejecting. This is something I'm always looking for. How many days have rejected that specific level where there were prior buyers or sellers? In this case, it was sellers. So then on the 4-hour, we can see it's pulling back into it, and it's giving us the pullback of highs, high lows, high highs, high lows. And then we get into an area where it's at the level, and I like to see the classic head and shoulder. I like to see that, and basically I was at that point. That's where price was, and we can see here, yeah, we got the high, we got the head, we got the low, but it's also the same notion of sellers and buyers. So when that price is coming up, it sells. Buyers push up. Buyers break that, push up, and you get another push, and you get another push, and now you get high, low, high, low, high, low. We get the high, low, and that gets taken out. We get another lower low, and we get, now if that was now supposed to take off, it hasn't. It's given us a lower high. Excuse me. It's given us a lower high. Now keep in mind that selling point, that's our selling. You can see here it's a strong sell-off point. You can see this here. So when with the same notion of when that price is now breaking to the downside and it's pulling back, think of where sellers were aggressive to where you can actually jump in for the entry. So that's looking at the 4-hour, keeping in mind I've got a left shoulder, you've got the head, you've got the right, you've got a neckline here, but you've got a shoulder formed here. So if I drop to the 1-hour, and it's the same thing. So we've got those high highs, high lows tracking in. We put in this high low, it doesn't break, right? We put in another high low. Yeah, it takes this. We put another high low, but you could see it's not taking out this, it's not doing anything for this one up here. So just got the high lows are going up, 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 but that's it. We now fall to the downside. Now, could this be a thing? Well, it could, but we need to see, as I said, price is going to have to pull back to gather more liquidity because of all this, for this further push down. Now, you can say, okay, an order block trader might be looking at this here, and this is what I mean. You're still getting wicked off. You're getting wicked off with your order blocks in these things here, you know. And this is my point about a move down. Okay, we try and we're trying to refine where to take our entry. It's too hard. It's for me. It's too hard. I need to see specific areas being broken where um, there are no buyers to the point where it's going to be um, sellers will basically take over. Okay, so we've got this lower high that was formed, another lower high that's formed, it's broken. So you know that there was a small buying in here, it's come down, it bought again. Now, when you put in line everything of what I said about where we were in the daily, respect to the daily, there's two daily rejections. We're on a strong daily selling, we're coming off a strong daily selling level. It's only normal and it's only natural to think, well, we are going to get some sort of reaction off that level. And we're starting to see it with this cascading down. Now, ideally, in the perfect world, you would have basically seen this coming down and then you get a perfect entry. But that's where you got to start thinking, well, you've had this structure broken already and it's a lower high. Price has to move in a wave to be coming down. So, okay, it's broken here. It hasn't broken down to here, but it's still pulling back. It pulls back. And then when you see things like engulfing candles starting to kick in, this is where you know, okay, I'm going to take this because all the stars have aligned for me. I'm going to take that when I see the price action showing me its intention to be moving down. And it's funny, like, yeah, you see the engulfing. I place my order, my stop loss above here. I don't like to do this where I can do it like that. I don't see the point. It's that one there. We're then sorry, I lost my train of thought. We're catching the engulfing candle and price tanks. But if you think of what this level is here, there's buying and there's buying. It's buying off a zone, right? So we know that below this area, there's selling. Here, just remember what I said. There's buying, so we're buying from here up. We're buying. We keep buying up, right? So we know that underneath this, it's selling. So think of this. So when it's below here, it sells off. This one closes up, closes below, it sells off. Just keep in mind, remembering that. So when we come here and we break, and we're breaking below these, and we get this engulfing, that's telling you it's a selling. Now, look, you could sell to this point. You could sell to there. You'd move your stops. You'd move your stops. But that's what happens. Now, my target was always going to be, it was going to be this section of buyers. We're selling and buying. We can see this is our strong buying area here. My area was always going to be to this point. When I woke, and it's probably lucky when it turned out the way it did, but when I woke, price had already been this point. This is 3 in the morning, so I'm still asleep. But when I woke, price had basically come down to this point again, it had not cleared any of this. It's put in that doji looking thing there, and that's when I closed it there, because I knew I couldn't be bothered then waiting for a whole day to see that come down to eventually, I don't know, give me maybe 0.5% more, only to find what's happening now is that we've now taken out some areas which now very much looks like we could be turning bullish. So I hope I can sort of clear up. It's not like I've practiced trying to explain anything, but yeah, just if you can always keep in mind when you see things like this, buyers, selling, always keep that in mind. So when price then does come down to this, and you get the break and you get that retesting, that you know that there was selling here down to this point, and so buying, we know that there's buyers here, buyers from here, sells from that point up, it's buying, okay? And now it's almost like we're pulling back, and we could very well go again, or, and this is what I keep thinking, but that there for me tells me it's still going to pull deeper in to then maybe do that, or it's going to pull deeper in to continue down and catching the higher time frame low. Okay, so the high time frame always wins out. If we look at the way the week had ended, it ends with the previous week strong engulfing bullish candle, and then we get this doji looking thing. So it could go two ways. You can sort of see this. It's already pulled back to fill up, you know, what we like to see, a fair value gap. It's filled the gap. So what do we do now? We could keep going up, or we could make a further drop down. I'll leave it at that for now.